Welcome to the Value Telling Podcast, where we talk to some amazing people about all aspects of their persuasive process and decision winning. We cover up what value telling content really is and why it plays an essential role in winning decisions, like securing that dream job, getting that buy-in from that hard to please client, winning a place on that PSL after a tough tender process, and so much more. At the heart of the podcast is celebrating all the great things people do to understand and deliver a high persuasive performance and what it really means. I'm Matt Trainer, and I'm delighted to spend a few moments with some amazing people. I'm not a guru, but I'm an experienced business leader, and I've worked in, led and advised hundreds of companies and thousands of people over the last 20 years. I've picked up a thing or two along the way. I've seen the good, the bad and the ugly, and I'm ready to share. If you value some thought-provoking culture, insightful science, inspirational snippets on all things decision winning, you're in the right place.
So you spent a lifetime from the early years when we first met all the way through now, and you touched on in his podcast your time as a lawyer and then as a charity worker trying to inspire people to invest or back other charities, and then businesses as well. And you also touched on your amazing family. So you're forever in a persuasive environment, whether it's trying to get your beautiful daughter to eat her dinner or some big corporate to put their hand in their pocket and support a local charity. So after that rambling, the ultimate question is, what does high persuasive performance mean to you?
Well, firstly, I didn't know, I'd never come across this before you obviously told me about your podcast and the things that you're up to. So I never really I've certainly not been schooled around what this is and how it could better support certain areas of my life. And actually now I know that there's more of a method involved. I'll probably do a lot more reading around it. But what it means to me is, I think it's capturing people's trust. It's about capturing the minds of those audiences, those people, those commercial organizations that you want to communicate to more effectively. It's inspiring people to allow you to have their time. It's so important, even more so now in this day and age, that we appreciate how expensive time is. It's the one thing that you give away often but can never replace. So I think for me it's about, you want to influence others, of course. You want to persuade them to think the way that you are thinking, or the ways in which you want to do certain things. But for me, it's being able to sort of build out those relationships with whoever it might be, that then allows you into their life to influence that. That sounds really spooky and pretty weird, but you to sort of level it out across all levels. So Blake, for instance, my son, I'm not ashamed to admit he's having a few problems at school at the moment. It's just like senior school, pretty tough. But actually you start realising that he's got my trust. He knows that he can talk to me about things, but sometimes you just need to frame a conversation around reminding him that he can do that to ensure that you influence his journey. And we're getting some real good breakthroughs. A commercial organisation that might want to support Loughborough, you need to understand, you need to start thinking about their issues, their problems, their objectives, whatever it might be. Spend a bit of time to understand that better. Let them tell you what they are, and then relay your sort of spin on what you want to talk to them about to better suit their pains, without feeling like you're a salesman. Listen to all the their pains and then sell the old features, benefits, or whatever it used to be in the good old days. It's just about getting people to sort of talk, I think, open up, and then framing that sort of conversation around your agenda.
Yeah, great insight. Thanks for that, Pete. And you said a word that really resonated with me, and that was trust. Whether you're getting the trust of your son, but perhaps more relevant to this podcast is the trust of clients or staff members. So give us a few insights. How do you go about establishing trust?
Well, I've always thought that I think honesty is a really good skill. Is that a skill or something?
Good place to start, right?
Yeah. I think, yeah, I do think you need to. I mean, I would say I've had learnings in this department. I have not been able to keep, if that's the right word, some of the talent that I would have liked to have kept within my businesses. And I think one of the failings there is that I probably haven't been as, without wanting to sound sort of like, we're trying to sort of kidnap these people by being persuasive. I probably haven't been as sort of inspiring through things like transparency. A lot of people say you've got two of these and one of these. Maybe I could have listened more to sort of gain people's trust. But yeah, I think that's really important that we communicate. We communicate as often as we can with our team. We listen to what they what motivates them, what winning looks like to them. People are inspired by different things, and I think the better we know those people, the easier it is then to use all the techniques, if that's the right word, to better persuade them to be the, not commodity that you want them to be the person that they want to be and that you need to be within that organisation. And that then allows you to be more persuasive, I suppose. It allows you to have better breakthroughs. It encourages better, healthier relationships and behaviours. So yeah, I think we're getting a lot better at that. And I think it just boils down to us being more open, more consistent around those conversations, and being very, very accessible to allow that conversation to be built around trust.
Yeah, that's great. And thanks for your honesty with that. I thought it was a really compelling answer. And with that being focused on staff members and the challenge of getting good people into businesses and holding on to good people, does that message that you've just sent me apply in the corporate world about being accessible and open and honest to build trust with those kind of guys and girls?
I think so. Yeah, I think certainly from so client wise. So, people that use our services, I think it comes down to sort of better understanding, taking that time to really, really appreciate what they want to achieve from, using us as a digital marketing agency. All pretty basic things really, but actually sometimes you can get carried away by winning a new client and rushing into everything and anything you think they want. But actually, if you just spend that little bit more time to better understand the clients, I think you can influence one another a lot more efficiently. I think from a Love Brum angle, it's really important to, I find it very helpful when we communicate to certain larger organisations that support Love Brum and the additional benefits that we can bring to the table. We're not just a charity that shakes a tin in front of you and raises money for X, Y, and Z. We actually can go in and better align companies' CSR strategies. We can better connect their team members into the community in where they live, work, and play, or whatever it might be. We can offer volunteering opportunities for people that get those CSR days in their contract. So again, it's by connecting better and really getting under the skin of the people that love, want to work with. It just only ever accelerates the outcome. Now, it sounds like we're here doing a sales job and people like that, not at all. It's actually when you start building those better relationships and having those deeper and more meaningful and effective conversations is the time when you're really encouraging better habits, better outcomes, and more fruitful potential, if that's the right way.
Yeah, no, I really got that. I thought that was great, and you said a load of things that I was frantically trying to scribble down. I'll see if I can remember how I can knit it into a couple of questions. So, I know in my world as well as yours, you touched on then the value of CSR, and this is something that's close to some companies' hearts. And in my world, we call that social social value, and whether that's leaving skills legacies or whatever it might be. So if that's on the agenda of some board meetings, and you guys go in as a representative of Loughborough to try and understand what they want to achieve, and you quite neatly said, and we can articulate the type of benefits they get. How do you do that? What sort of techniques, or what are you using? What sort of proof or evidence are you putting under the nose of the corporate world to get them to really buy into the benefit of Loughborough?
So I think one of the main sort of ingredients of high persuasive performance is data. I think we are getting better as an organisation to collect that data that influences certain decisions. So we know where our projects are taking place, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then we measure the social value scores around the outcomes that those projects are delivering. So we can say where certain projects are serving those communities in respect of, decrease in knife crime or an increase in attendance at schools and things like that. So with that data, I think that can easily plug into the articulation, if that's the right word, of those corporates sort of what's the word, commitments to CSR. So you call it social value and social scoring. We can provide data to support those conversations that you guys will have internally. And that only then enables that sort of relationship to be more structured, more, I'd say, sensitive in a way. It feels like a better connect. It's like, we need them as much as they need us.
Yeah.
So yeah, data is really, really key. Because it really does allow us to be persuasive around the outcome. A lot of people now are committing to things that they know are delivering real outputs. And that's the sort of agenda that's more of the conversations we're having at the moment. Yeah, that's great. We can give you £1,000 a year, but what are we contributing to? What is that output? Now, it's easy to show the projects. We do that through YouTube. You go onto our YouTube channel, there's 300-400 projects that we've supported. All brilliant people doing brilliant things, from feeding the homeless to engaging in intergenerational activities with, residents of a care home. But we then are able to sort of communicate more effectively the data of the impact of those projects. And that, I feel, really resonates with some of these corporates, especially in a world where there is a demand on them to, from an employee branding perspective, from a growth sort of piece, being able to show the impact that business has away from the finances of the corporate world and more into the communities in which the businesses are placed. So that really sort of serves to help those conversations we're constantly having.
There are lots of cool things happening in your company every day. As a leader, it's hard to keep track of the great things that happen, and remote work doesn't make it easier. Capturing and using this information, that we call value-telling content, is important, as it is needed to make a compelling bid, a sales pitch, deliver a performance review, and so much more. Blu-J can help supercharge your persuasive power by creating content that converts. Our platform works like a logbook that records the important stuff. Our powerful search makes it quick and easy to find what you need. Win more decisions with Blu-J. Book a call on our website and get a guided tour of what we do.